Happy Wednesday, guys. Welcome to the Florida Treasure Coast Market Update. Stay with me, and we're going to look up a very specific price point. Let's go.
You better get fired up.
Guys, good to see you. Hope you had a great week so far. I am going to dig into Port St. Lucie single-family homes, specifically in the, let's say, 500 to 650 price point. Now, you might say, why? That's a really specific price point. It's because I'm working with a good friend of mine right now who wants to sell their home, and I said, hey, looking at all of the data, this sold, this sold, this sold, this active, this active, this active, all these different things, your home is worth 550. Their response, which is very common, was cool. Let's list it at 6 and see what happens. Let's give it some wiggle room. That's what literally 90% of people say. And every time I hear it, I think, do you think you're the only person who's ever said that? Like, everybody has the same strategy, right? So I always say, hey, if you look data-wise at what gets a home sold, it's not overpricing it and then whittling it down, finally getting to that 550 price point that it should have been at probably 2-3 months ago, and now you got a tough time getting 550. Why? Because it's market worn. There is a difference in your mind, right? Your motivation, your excitement, your desire to give a strong offer. There's a difference in your mind as a buyer when a property's been on for 97 days versus when it's been on for 4 days. It's just different, right? 97 days, you think they must be desperate. I hear it from buyers every single day. Is it true? I don't know. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. I don't know, but that's the perception. That perception creates offers that you don't really want. On your $550,000 home that was listed at 6, then 590, 580, 570, 560, 550. Now you're getting offers at 5 and you're upset about it. Joe, you told me my home was worth 550. Yeah, it was, but you messed it up with this 97 days on market because we overpriced it, right? You're making it challenging. If you listed at 550 right in the beginning, now a buyer comes and they see, oh, 3, 4, 5 days. This is an exciting home. Hey, agent, are there any offers on this house? I don't know. There might be. Let me call the agent. Okay, well, we got to move quick. I don't want to lose this. This is a great house, right? And they're comparing that 550 home to homes that are, say, 525, 550, right? When you've got your 550 home priced at 600 or 575, they're comparing your 550 home that's overpriced to homes that are worth 575, 600. You're going to be the worst. When you're at 550, which is where you should be in this example, you're going to be the best. It's different. Okay. So I wanted to show them, and I don't know the answer to this question. We'll see. Maybe I'll be eating my words, but I wanted to show them what the market looks like specifically at that price point. So I'm going to go 50 grand low of what I'm saying and 50 grand higher than they want to go. So 50 grand lower than the 550 they need to be at is 500. 50 grand higher than the 600 they want to be at is 650. So we're going to look 5 to 650. And what I want to see, I'm going to share my screen here, is what the inventory looks like. You might say, Joe, what's inventory? I'm going to explain what inventory is. Inventory is, okay, you should be able to see the MLS right now. Inventory is looking at how many listings we've got on the market right now and looking at how many we've sold in the last X amount of days. If we sell at that rate and we don't take on any new listings, which we will, how long will it take us to sell all of those listings? Now, if you're in the 3 to 4 month range, in my opinion, it's a pretty neutral market. If you're under 3 months, you're looking at a seller's market. In 2021, there was a day when it was 19 days. It was crazy. And that market was ridiculous, right? If you're looking at more than 4 months, it starts to become a buyer's market. I remember back in 2008, one of the worst markets ever, there were 2 to 3 years worth of inventory in some of the markets, some of the price points, some of the HOAs. All right, so let's take a look. We've got active Port St. Lucie. I'm going to look at single family homes. And we're going to go asking price of 500 to 650. I better grab some paper and a pen here. So you can see in the top left corner, we've got 422 actives. Okay. So now let's go back. I'm going to go back and look 90 days. We're going to get rid of list price. We're going to go from active to closed. And we're going to go back 3 months to 9/3. Oh, come on now. There we go. Of 2025. And I'm going to come down to add a field, sold price, and we're going to punch in that 500 to 650. Okay. 193. So when I take my trusty calculator, I think this is going to be about 6.5, 7 months. We'll see. 422 divided by 193 times their 3-month periods. You've got 6.56 months of inventory. Okay. So what does that mean? That means that if you have a home in the 5 to 650 range, single family home in Port St. Lucie right now, there is 6.5 months of inventory, and that's a buyer's market. Is it a crazy buyer's market? No, but it's a buyer's market. And what a buyer's market means is if you list it above asking price, good luck. You're going to have a very challenging time selling. And once you drop to the price that you should have been at in the first place, you're probably not going to get that. You're probably going to get a little bit less, maybe 5, 10, 15 grand less, because you're market worn, meaning you've been in the market for a long time. All right. If you list it at price, you still might have a challenging time selling. All right. There's a lot of things that go into it. How do you show? Do you check a lot of normal boxes? Like, hey, I got a white vinyl fence. I got a pool. I got a newer roof. The roof is metal. I've got impact glass windows. Those are a lot of boxes that I don't want to say normal, that a lot of buyers are going to be requesting. If you can check those boxes, your odds of selling go up a little bit. If you're not checking some of those boxes and you're in that 5 to 650 range, even if you're priced correctly, it still might be challenging to sell. Is it challenging to sell when you're priced correctly and there's 3 to 4 months of inventory? No, that's a nice neutral market. You're going to collect an offer. You're going to be good to go. And when you're in that 3 to 4 months inventory range and you want to overprice a little bit, it's not always the craziest thing, especially if I tell you your home's worth 540 and you say, can we try 550? Absolutely. Not only are you just a hair over and it's a neutral market, but you're at a major price point, 550. People don't search up to 540. They search up to 550. So they're going to search to 550. And whether you have it listed at 540 or 550, they're going to see it either way. Now, if you want to go to 551, you're going to lose a lot of eyeballs. So you really want to think about that, right? It's going to cost you eyeballs to go over that next major price point. You want to think about that. So you want to take all these things into consideration. However, we're talking to 3 to 4 months inventory. Right now, it's 6.5 months of inventory. At 6.5 months of inventory, I would say do not overprice your listing. If you're at 540, it's not that crazy to go to 550 because, again, you're not losing the eyeballs. But if you're at 560 and you want to go to 580, 590, 600, it's just probably not going to happen right now. It's going to hurt you more than it's going to help you. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but it's true, right? Data shows, and don't trust me, go look it up. Go Google what an average home sells for compared to original asking price if it's been on for 30 days or less, 60 days or less, 90 days or less, 120 days or less. You will see a correlation. I put up a post, it was probably 6 to 12 months ago on Instagram, showing that the longer you wait, the longer it's on the market, the less you end up getting. It becomes market worn. So you want to price it right from the beginning. And I know it's so tough because the thought is, oh my gosh, what if I could get an extra 5, 10, 15 grand out of it? I need that wiggle room. I got to negotiate. Guess what? A lot of times, either A, people don't negotiate when you're priced right because they're so worried about losing it. FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. They've got FOMO. They don't want to miss out. You're priced right. You're the best looking house on the market at that price point. So you've got that. But number two, even if they try to negotiate, it's a lot easier for me as a realtor to say, hey, I can appreciate you wanting to negotiate. You're at 525, we're at 550. But here's the comps that I pulled for my seller showing them that 530, 540 was too low and 560, 570 was too high. And there were a couple supporting 550 exactly. What are we missing that your buyer is seeing? And their response is going to be nothing. We were just trying to negotiate. Awesome. Well, I appreciate that, but come on up to 550 and we got a deal, right? It's a little bit easier. If you're at 575, they're talking 600, and we get an offer for 550. What am I supposed to say to that person other than, yeah, but we got plantation shutters and look at the beautiful paint. It's fresh. And but they're going to say, yeah, but look at all the comps. They have that too. And they're at 550. And I'm going to have no comeback, right? So it's really important that you understand that you've got to have a decent price to start with. Remember this too. If all the comps support 550 and you price it at 600 and you've got a good enough realtor and you're lucky enough to procure that buyer at $600,000, you've still got to get an appraiser who's going to appraise it at 600, right? Don't forget that. So even if you get it under contract at that $600,000 price point, the odds of the appraisal coming in short and now you having to consider dropping your price is pretty high, right? That appraiser has to look at exactly what I look at. In fact, an appraiser is more restricted. They've got more rules. I can look at anything I want. It's not an appraisal. It's a comparative market analysis. For them, with an appraisal, there are rules. They can only look within a certain distance, or maybe they got to be in that specific neighborhood, whatever it is, right? Maybe they can only do plus or minus so many square feet. Maybe if yours has a pool, theirs has to have a pool. Whatever rules they've got to adhere to. I don't have those rules. So I've sold houses before, especially in that like $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 price point, where we have the best house. It's the best. Nobody would question it. It's better than every other comp within, say, a mile or two. But it's also priced higher than anything else. So the appraiser is stuck. He can use the best 2-3 comps that have sold in the last X amount of months. But if they're not as nice as the one that I'm selling and they're lower priced, yeah, visually we can see your home is better, but is it $1 better? Is it $1 million better? We don't know. We have to go off the comps, and the comps say 700,000. You're asking 800,000. We can't justify that. So that's a discussion I'll have with builders a lot when they want to build this beautiful house with all these amenities. And I'll say, don't overbuild it. If you overbuild it, it's going to be tough to sell. Your only option is going to be either a intoxicated appraiser, which good luck, or we got to find a cash buyer. And I've had sellers say that too. Hey, Joe, if my house is that great, and it is, my house is amazing, everybody's house is amazing, then put it on at 600 grand, even though you're telling me all the comps are at 550 and the appraiser is going to come in at 550. But I want you, my amazing realtor, to go out and find a cash buyer. That way we don't have that problem. Well, sure, we can do that. Let's, I don't know if we can do what I'm about to do, but we're going to find out here. Can I share screen one more time? What I want to do is I want to show you what percentage of, okay, so we're looking at, this is 193 that sold between 5 and 650, right? So let's come in now and go, you know what? I'm not going to be able to do this. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this, but let's find out. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, it just says terms considered, which that doesn't matter. What matters is what it actually closed with. You used to be able to look that up. You can't look it up anymore. But I will tell you, back when you could look it up, it was always about 20, 25%. 20, 25% of the closings in Port St. Lucie on single-family homes were cash buyers. That's 1 out of every 4, 1 out of every 5. That means 3 out of every 4 or 4 out of every 5 are no longer your buyers. You just got rid of a ton of buyers. And guess what? Funded buyers tend to negotiate a little bit more in your favor as a seller. A cash buyer has this perspective, right? They don't understand, apparently, that at closing, you're all cash. The loan cash is owed too. Either way, as a seller, I'm getting my full lump sum. It's all the same thing. As long as I can see your approval letter, I can see you've got the down payment and closing costs and proof of funds. I see your credit scores is 728. I'm happy. We're good to go. But cash buyers, again, I said this in the beginning too, right? Perception matters. A cash buyer believes They're more attractive, so they can come in 10, 20, 30 grand low. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. That's the perception. So if you're closing off all of those funded buyers because you want a higher than able to be appraised number, and you're trying to attract cash buyers, but you don't realize that cash buyers think they're special, so they're going to get a deal, you're down to no buyers. There's no buyers left. Cash buyers excited to pay full price, that's a rare breed. That's a rare breed. That's probably 2-3% of the market, right? And if you're trying to get top price by only looking at 2-3% of the market, that's going to be very challenging, especially when you're competing against everybody else who's opening up 100% of the buyer pool and you've got 2 or 3%. It's going to be tough. So guys, hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully my friend takes a look at this video, and hopefully you guys are pricing your listings to sell. Price your home to sell. Attract a lot of activity, a lot of excitement, get multiple offers because you priced it well. It shows well. You've got a great realtor negotiating. Now you won't just get the price that you deserve, the price that the market demands. You'll also get great terms because you've got people fighting each other to get your house, which is exactly what you want. Guys, thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Take care.